It's feeding time here at the 𝗁𝗵𝗃 Rescue Centre. Young Cape fur seal pups are building up their strength before eventually returning to the wild. To help avoid over-dependence on their carers, they're given numbers instead of names. This shy little pup caught our eye. Officially number 20, we called him Toby.
But this little pup is not like any other pup we've had. He's aggressive, extremely aggressive, and he doesn't bond. It's so weird because we've never had a pup that hasn't sort of warmed to 𝗂𝗏. So, and also he's frightfully independent. He was lying next to his mom. His mom was dead. And we don't know what caused the mother's death.
Sadly, Toby's isn't a unique story. Grim scenes like these were a daily occurrence along our west coast between September and December last year. Scores of Cape fur seals were washing up along the various beaches. Toby's mom was among them.
2 months ago on 𝗁𝗵𝗃 Beach, we had about 80 bodies just wash up. And it was like a big thing. Everybody was, Kim, the bodies, the bodies.
𝘃𝗵𝗁 has been operating the rescue centre since 2019. Here, injured and orphaned seals are offered a safe haven and, most importantly, food.
All I can tell you is what we have witnessed here, which is starving, emaciated animals, animals that are convulsing or animals who are in hypoglycemic state. These bodies just washed up. And some of them were bodies that had visible wounds in them, almost like gunshot wounds.
Kim, what were the suspicions when the initial death started and there were all these carcasses?
My suspicion was overfishing because all that we saw was starving, emaciated animals, animals that were not eating.
Months later, malnutrition remains one of several possible explanations. We headed out to sea for a glimpse of these animals in their natural environment, wondering if our own search would reveal what was behind this mysterious mass die-off.
Could it be overfishing? Could it be the attacks on seals? Or could it be in the water?
Our investigation takes us 180 kilometers up the west coast to St. Helena Bay.
It was here at St. Helena Bay where the first mass discovery of carcasses were made, turning this shore into a graveyard of seals.
Wildlife conservationist 𝗁𝗏𝗏 has dedicated his life to various animals.
For that time of the year, even, you'll find one a day, maybe, on all these beaches that's dead. But suddenly, we ended up with between 20 and 30 dead seals a day on every short stretch of beach. We realized very quickly that this is not normal.
Naturally, concerned community members started talking and rumors spread like wildfire.
He's calling on the malnutrition.
There's something in the water or changing in temperature.
When they took it out of the bag, its head had been clubbed in.
They see the seals walk onto the beach and coughing, and then they die. Maybe it's COVID, who knows?
Fishing in the West Coast is incredibly competitive. Local fishermen not only have to compete amongst each other to put food on the table, but with large-scale commercial fishing companies too. So things are bound to get ugly for seals who are also just trying to get food. What's the general attitude of fishermen towards seals here?
I don't think you can say fishermen. It's not all fishermen. Individuals. That's how I see it. And it's also not only out at sea, but it's also on our beaches. The general attitude or feeling about seals is not good. They don't like seals. It's seen as competition. I was called out by the police where an adult female was sitting on a parking area away from the beach, above the beach, and she was bleeding. And she was obviously shot behind the right ear, and the bullet came out the left eye. We had to get the SPCA in to come and euthanize.
In November last year, an initial government investigation into the seal die-offs revealed they'd succumbed to malnutrition. But would that explain the strange behavior some seals were demonstrating moments before dying?
So initially, it did really look like a malnutrition effect, but now some of that didn't really add up.
Dr. Tess Gridley is the director of conservation group 𝘂𝗵𝗶𝘀. She spent the last 4 months of last year collecting carcasses and samples with a team of vets and researchers.
And one of the reasons it didn't add up is because Cape fur seals are generalist feeders. So they actually can switch the prey. We've seen fur seals who are eating, upwards of 30 different prey items.
Like the scores of pups found on the coast, this could have been Toby's fate. But we're here where postmortems are being done to try and find out what could have happened to seals like Toby's mom.
The pups aren't fully formed yet. So when a pup is born fully developed, it's got a lot more hair than this.
Dr. Gridley says seal pup mortalities are expected in the September to December breeding season. But the age range of the dying seals was puzzling and needed more investigation.
And we're particularly interested in the stomach contents. And also we're taking small sections of different organs as well. Those samples will help us to determine the health of the animal, also the health of the mother, potentially.
According to Gridley, their attention has now turned to another possible culprit. They're checking the carcasses for signs of something called domoic acid. It's an acid produced by certain types of algae, and crucially, it can affect the nervous system. It's often linked to large algal blooms that happen when there's rapid growth in microscopic algae in water. It accumulates in creatures like shellfish, sardines, and anchovies, and when predators like seals and sea lions feed on them, it can lead to poisoning. In seals, that can impact the heart and brain, causing disorientation.
From your preliminary investigation so far, have you found that acid?
We haven't proven that there is domoic acid in these animals yet. Currently, the investigation's into the brains of the animals, which is where domoic acid lesions can occur and changes in the brains can occur. Those investigations are ongoing.
Domoic acid is produced by a type of harmful algae found all over the world, including here in our waters. But potential changes in our ocean may be exacerbating the harmful nature of this algae. An algal bloom along the central California coast in 1998 caused an increase in domoic acid production. The local sea lion population suffered seizures, pregnancy complications, and a number of deaths as a result. Plankton expert Dr. 𝘃𝗏𝗄 has 25 years in the field. He says 2 species similar to those found off California have been identified here.
What we have found is that they seem to produce lower amounts than these species that are very problematic on the Californian coast. And that we attribute to the difference in the environments between our waters and that of California.
Because we've seen it become a big problem on the California coast, and now we are aware that it is in our waters. Is this something that we should be concerned about?
Well, certainly. The difficult part to answer, these species have always been in our waters. We've had bird mortalities in the past, we've had seal mortalities. The cause has been unknown. And perhaps now that we know a little bit more, we can begin to attribute it to domoic acid possibly. Possibility is that the ocean has changed in some way or another.
We approached the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment for their views on overfishing, reports of violent attacks on seals, and domoic acid. They responded with a general statement, which said a variety of factors, including malnutrition, led to the seal die-offs. No biotoxins were detected in the carcasses tested. When asked specifically about domoic acid, the department said tests were conducted depending on capabilities and the availability of laboratories. While scientists continue to try figure out what happened to seals like little Toby's mom, there are warnings that something bigger might be at play.
I think the whole environment is in trouble, and I seriously think something needs to be done. Obviously, our animals are just the ones that are going to be the victims and are the ones that are going to be suffering.
We are losing species every single day. That's dying out. May it be pollution, climate change, the change of climate patterns. This all plays a role. And in the end of the day, we see the effects, the negative effects of that in our environment first.